It is a windy day today, very windy. So a few people have asked me on my channel, do I regret selling my other bikes and buying this KTM? Well, no is the short answer, and let me tell you why. Firstly, this KTM is still super fast. Much faster than what I need on the road. Really, it was faster, but this thing is still ridiculous. By the way, there's something in this video in my camera settings that's different. There's a couple of things actually. Drop a comment below, what do you think is different about the settings I'm using today. This thing is like a big supermoto, but way faster. Alright, calm down a little bit, shall we? So now that I've done about 4,000 Ks on this KTM already, crazy, I know, I've only had it a few weeks. I've done a service on it myself, I've added a couple of minor little bits to it. I'm going to go over some of the things that I really like about this bike and some of the things that I'm not too keen on. Now these are not going to be in any particular order, but the very first thing I like about this bike is its looks. It looks awesome, especially with the high fender kit I have on it. That came with the bike, so luckily I didn't have to install it. The looks, I love it. It looks like a beast. It's massive. It's, you know, I like everything about how it looks. The next thing I really like about this bike is the electronic system. So that's talking about all the traction control, the rider aids, the rally mode, the quick shifter, the huge display. This display is mean, look at it, it's massive. The slip control is amazing off-road. This bike has really amazing electronic system in it. The traction control works very well, but it's not intrusive. You don't really notice it come in other than when it's like blinking on the dash. If you're like a really inexperienced rider, you can dial it right up to 9 on rally mode, and you know, it'll let very little slip in, but you know, it's still not really jerky or anything like that. It just kind of rides nicely. I ride it in mode 6 or 5 sometimes, and that gives me a really good amount of slip that I can drift it around gravel and stuff. And yeah, it works fantastic. Love the electronics package. Now you can't go far on this bike without talking about the engine. The engine has got to be probably the main reason I bought this bike. I mean, there's been lots of reasons why I bought this bike, but this LC8 motor in this 2021-2022 model, same thing, is just amazing. It has so much torque. The way it delivers it, the sound of it, everything. The engine is potent. It's like far too much. It has far too much power than any adventure bike has any business having. But it's fun. It's really fun. If you want an adventure bike, you know, like a big capacity adventure bike, and you don't want to be bored, the KTM is the bike for you. Next on the list has got to be suspension. This WP Explore suspension is amazing. It handles, like, this bike blows my mind. It's so big and so heavy, but it handles so well off-road that, you know, it really is a do-it-all machine. It also handles really well on-road. You can like really throw this thing around, especially with these AT41 tires from Bridgestone that I have on here. It just, what are you up to, lady? Especially with these AT41 tires that it has on here, it just grips like crazy. Suspension is fantastic. That kind of leads on to another point that I really like, is the comfort. Now the comfort isn't perfect. I'm going to talk about that in one of my negatives. Oh, that's cool. Look at all those. Mean. It's a beautiful day out today other than the wind, but very nice. It's a Saturday today. Hopefully there's not a whole bunch of people. Oh, you can drive on the beach, on the grass. That's pretty cool. Maybe we'll do that. Should we park up? If you have a look at this bike and how it's sitting now, it is on a massive angle. It's on a big lean. I don't know why, but it's like the side stand is too short or something for this bike. I don't know if it's maybe because it's supposed to be from the S model, which has slightly smaller wheels or something. But yeah, it just leans way too much, and it's not just because it's on the grass, because it also is like that on my driveway. So minor complaint, side stand is a little bit too short, and I think I'm going to be fixing it by putting an extended foot on the side stand. Another dislike while we're here is the seat. Now the bike is really comfortable, like I was saying. It's a really nice riding position. The suspension is great. It's a little firm, but it's great. It's comfortable for long trips. But for me at 6'1", surprisingly I feel like the seat is a little bit low. So I would like to get the higher seat. I think it's a 2-piece option that's heated or something. I don't know, I still have to look at my options, but yeah, I would really like to get the high seat, and that would just spread my leg triangle out, so I could get, you know, I just find my legs are a little bit cramped up, like the pegs are too high, but I don't want to drop the pegs. I need to raise the seat. Right, with that being said, let's move on to another spot. So another dislike is the engine is quite rowdy. And I'm not talking about the exhaust, I'm talking about the engine unit itself. It's quite a rattly, tappy, kind of noisy motor. Now I know there's nothing wrong with my one. I do have those dirt tricks tensioners that I'm probably going to put in when these hydraulic ones start wearing out. But I've listened to other bikes and they all sound like this. They're all kind of you know, like tappy, rattly kind of engines. Makes the bike sound a little bit like agricultural, I guess. Like it's nowhere near as smooth sounding as like a Triumph Tiger or something like that. But this bike is all about its aggressiveness, so I kind of give that a pass. Another positive for me is the lighting system on this bike. Why do I say lighting system? Like it's more complicated than a fucking headlight. The headlight on this bike is really great. The lean, you know, has the like lean sensitive headlight, so when you lean into a corner it like shines light in that direction, and that works really well. I've never had that on a bike before, and I definitely appreciate it. And the headlight itself is really, really bright. Even with the grille mesh thing that I have on the front, the headlight protector, it still works great, but it definitely works better without the headlight protector on it. Put it in rally mode. There we go. The standing position is really nice. Before I did the Chris Birch course, I kind of felt like I needed the bars to be a little bit higher. However, now he's taught me how to stand properly, I don't feel like that anymore, so that's good. Yeah, really like the standing position of this bike. I really love how this bike is so easily maneuverable at slow speeds for such a large machine. That is definitely a positive for me. This bike is just so much fun. So much fun. So another thing that I'm not too keen on, it's kind of irrelevant because I haven't had any issues with this bike, but I just feel like it's not as reliable as like a Yamaha T7 or something, you know. It's just the KTM, you know what I'm saying. KTMs are fantastic bikes. I haven't had a problem with it, but I've only done a few thousand Ks with it, and I don't know if I'm going to have any issues. I hope not, but you know, it's certainly a thing that these kind of Euro bikes have more issues than, like, say, a Japanese bike, for example. Fingers crossed I don't have any problems and everything goes smoothly. So much fun. Now, one of the things I didn't like about this bike was the screen. Now, I know this is the R version. It's not meant to be like a... I mean, it is a touring bike, because it is a big adventure touring bike, but it's very, very capable off-road. However, the screen on the R model is so short that when I'm wearing my Shoei X-Spirit 3 like superbike helmet, it was fine. Still really windy, but I didn't really get any head bobbling because of the aerodynamics of that helmet. But with this adventure bike helmet, the Shoei ADV, my Shoei Hornet ADV helmet, I was getting massive head bobbling to the point where I couldn't really wear this helmet. So, you know, that's a minus. But I bought this Jivy shield, this extension, and that fixed it, like, totally. So while that is an expense, I guess it's going to come down to how it is for you, because it's going to depend on your rider height. You know, I am 6'1", like I was saying, and you know, it's going to vary on the helmet you have and how tall you are and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, the screen, not ideal for touring specifically. It's so windy. Look at that view, guys. That's Cornwallis Wharf. Very nice. I think honestly adventure bikes in general are kind of one you just have to own at some point in your motorcycling life. They're too much fun. Tides right in. Can we get up here? Oh, being naughty. Can't fit. Oh, it's bushy. People say money can't buy happiness. I mean, it can buy a little bit of happiness, you know. A little bit. I just remembered one of the things that I don't like, and that is the chain slap. This bike has the worst chain slap that I've ever experienced in a motorcycle. It's quite bad. Again, I mean, you know, these things are minor, but I feel like I've said too many positives. One thing I forgot to mention that I don't like, and I haven't figured a workaround, and I don't know if there is one, but when you go from, say you're in street mode, you're riding casually through the twisties, and let's stop over here actually. So the thing I don't like about the electronics is if I am in rally mode, for example, I've put the bike in rally mode, ABS isn't linked to rally mode or off-road mode, so you have to, if I go into my modes here, if I put it into rally mode, it's not linked, so it's still in road ABS, so I have to change it to off-road mode with the ABS. Which isn't a big deal, but the thing is that I find a little bit sketchy is if I go back to street mode now, or sport mode or whatever, it's still in off-road ABS mode. So you have to remember, and I'll probably get used to this, you have to remember to go, you know, once you've gone and had your fun off-road and you've put it back in street mode or sport mode, you need to remember to put it back into road ABS mode. Otherwise you're going to have no ABS on the rear, and if you turn ABS mode off on the front as well and you forget to put it back, then you're not going to have any ABS, and on a bike like this it could be a problem. So minor complaint with the electronics. If you guys know a fix for that, by the way, I don't know if I'm doing something wrong, I don't think so, but if I am, let me know below. I hope that video was enjoyable to watch. I have a fair amount of energy this afternoon. I've had a few coffees and I'm pinging a little bit. That lane sensitive traction control working. She's a monster. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. I'll see you in the next one. Subscribe, like this video, comment below, and I'll see you soon. Peace.